Sunday show. Make sure you smash the like button. Um, a lot has happened over the last 72 to 96 hours. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some insane trade proposals we've seen over the last 48 hours. And then also we're going to talk about Kevin O'Connor's piece saying that there are no untouchables on this Pelicans roster. We got Grubb, we got Lito, we got Jarrett. Smash the like button. Let's do it.
First took away. After this, get your money's worth now.
Presented by Scott Vicknair Injury Law Firm. You've been hurt in any kind of accident, car, truck, 18-wheeler, or hurt offshore. Scott Vicknair handles it all. Give him a call at 504-500-1111 for a free consultation. Always fight for the win, as always. Powered by 40 Energy. Shout out. Shit, I don't have the bottle. Shout out Blue Moon. Shout out Blue Moon. Smash like button. Shout out Chris Smith, Holmes, John Deere, Sunshine 4D, Standard Mortgage, Theos. Scott Vicknair, as always. So a lot going on with the Pelicans over the last couple of days. Obviously, we're going to talk about Zion here first. We're not going to get into the details. Once again, these are all allegations. It's a civil lawsuit going on. I'm not going to get into the details. Obviously, a very serious matter. We're dealing with Zion. David, I want to start with you first, though, because I'm just throwing away all the reports that just came about in the last 48, 72 hours. My question to you, Grubb, is do you think Joe Dumars knew about this situation before coming in and accepting this, this role and understanding, when he sent Zion to New York to represent the franchise? Do you think that Joe Dumars had already been briefed that this is something that was going to happen or eventually was going to come out?
It's hard to imagine that the Pelicans didn't know. This was a case that was shopped around to, according to Zion's attorneys, multiple law firms. So it's hard to imagine that this, in a city like Los Angeles where gossip is king and you can trade information for a lot, it's just hard to believe that nobody knew, whether it's from the league office having some advance information or the Pelicans at least having an inkling that this was going to happen. I mean, certainly Zion had to know that it was coming because his attorneys were ready as soon as the suit was filed. So if Zion knew, there's no way he can not tell the Pelicans that this is coming, because you don't want your employer to be blindsided by this information. You don't want the league to be catching the wind of this last. And certainly you don't want to go to them knowing that they already know. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not in his best interest in that regard. So it's just hard to imagine that nobody, whether within the organization or the league, knew, and that there wasn't some internal preparation for this. Now, do they ride it out? We'll see. But it seems that there had to be somebody aware of this before it happened.
Yeah, and Jarrett, once again, I want to make this very clear. These are allegations. It's a civil lawsuit. But Jarrett, there's been, it's just another offseason with rumors and questions regarding your best player in Zion Williamson. And I've seen a lot of people say, well, it's time to move on, time to cut. And I think it's very important to understand that July 15th is a very important date because that is when his contract is guaranteed, right, Jarrett? And so the Pelicans here have a month or so to kind of see what's going on. Obviously, if you haven't listened, Grubb did a great job breaking it down a couple of days ago. They're going to obviously have some internal investigations and more conversations about what has transpired over these last 48 hours. But Jarrett, once again, I guess my question to you is: do you think it's time to just, this is it? Before July 15th, or do you think we got to talk this out and still see what's going on, in the background of Zion Williamson?
Yeah, no, to Grubb's point, there's no way that the Pelicans didn't know about this. Now it all makes sense. You know how we were all in uproar that the Pelicans didn't interview multiple candidates, or like it seemed very, very fast. Like you already had this guy. This would be a reason why you would do such a process that way. Now it all kind of makes sense. Like we didn't know this information. Now I still would have liked for them to, interview multiple GMs and presidents of basketball operations or whatever it is. Like I would have loved for them to do that. But they didn't. And this could be a reason why, and I can see how you would do so. So I'm not mad at it. It seems like they have a plan. From my standpoint, finally kind of have a plan, but we'll see kind of how that kind of works out. You putting Zion at the draft, like the lottery, it seems placement. It seems purposeful. So I'm gonna give them an opportunity to prove themselves.
Leo, I want you to kind of expand on Jarrett's thoughts there, because that was be my next question. What do you think Joe was trying to do? Excuse me. I have horrific allergies, so I do apologize to our listeners and everyone viewing right now. What do you think Joe was trying to, I guess, his message by sending Zion to represent the franchise, probably knowing this news was going to come out in the next couple weeks?
I think it looked like a face of solidarity. One message between him and the team. I agree with Five. Looking back at it now, with hindsight, a friend of the family, not my words, but a friend of the family. As far as Joe and Gail and Tom and Mickey, and he would be the guy. And look, let's if the Pelicans knew, Joe worked in the league office, so Joe had to be aware as well, because he said prior to taking the job, he had many conversations with Zion. Not saying this alluded to that, but just saying it kind of all seems to be running into place with that. I think Joe's job is to, prior to this news coming out, was to get Zion's value probably as high as he could, right, in order to make a move. How do you do that at this point? I'm not exactly sure. Or if they even do that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of got to figure out like what the brain trust is thinking and what's their last straw. Because again, due process is a thing, and you kind of, you need to go through that to see, what's right and what's going on actually.
Yeah, and we'll talk a couple more minutes about this, then we'll get into some what Kevin O'Connor had to say. But Grub, I wanted to ask you this, because Zion's representation came out for immediate release, saying the allegations contained category false and reckless. This is the plaintiff's third, set of attorneys, and so on and so forth, right? But to Zion's side, right? So they've denied everything. How does this impact Zion, right? Mentally, this is just another issue. Obviously, he's had some off-court issues, but personally, how do you think Zion is affected by this? And just another offseason, whether he's injured or not, he's still dealing with something.
Yeah, I mean, we talked to him, and I mean, I asked him specifically last year at Media Day what it was like to have an offseason that was relatively drama-free for the first time since high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, last year was the only offseason going back to before he got to Duke that you didn't have something to talk about that it was non-basketball related. I mean, we've just been doing this time and time again. I think the most interesting part of this is the fact that his attorney is threatening to countersue. We rarely see that in these circumstances with athletes. Typically, even if it's going to be settled, it's going to be settled quickly, and there's going to be a financial settlement reached, and it's going to be out of the papers. But for them to say that they're going to be aggressive in pursuing counterclaims, it seems to me that Zion has again been preparing his defense for this. So if they've been already prepared, they've had these discussions about what do you have, what information do you have that we can refute this. I think the one part of that makes this encouraging then is that he's not on the defense all off season, that he feels like, and his attorneys have taken this posture that they're going to be on the offensive. And I think that's a much different position to be in than, let's say, you're going to trial for something and you've been accused of something that people know you did. Let's say you're Ray Rice. In that situation, there's a tape of you beating a woman. I think there's a lot different than this, where Zion has a number of people in the court of public opinion who are going to have his back, and then he's got an attorney that's being aggressive in the other direction. I don't think this is a Deshaun Watson type thing where you're the quarterback and all this stuff is on your weight. I think for Zion Williamson, because he's been absent before, that if things are missing around him again, then people will be used to it. I just don't think this takes him away from the court. It's just, does he do what he's supposed to do the rest of the offseason? And does he show up in shape when training camp arrives, unless they make a move? Otherwise, he can only control what he can control. And that's showing up healthy and in shape when it's time to do so.
Yeah.
Hey, Justin.
Yeah, go ahead, Lito. Yeah.
So to add on to Grau's point, not obviously the circumstances surrounding the story are different compared to what has previously happened with Zion in the past. I was having a conversation with Chris the other day, and I was just kind of like, well, what's going to change if he's not available? You know what I'm saying? Like, you pretty much used to him not being available. So, like, what exactly? It should be business as usual if you're the organization.
Right. It's just really an unfortunate event going on right now, and obviously we have to let this play out and see what happens. But that July 15th date is when Zion's contract is guaranteed for the following year. So that's an important date to circle on the calendar. So let's get to what Kevin O'Connor said a couple days ago. Jared, we'll start with you. Before we start with this, everyone make sure you smash the like button. Now, I've said this just numerous amount of times. I hate this time of year because the trade proposals that are said by some of these people are, excuse my language, no, I'm not going to say it, are effing insane. Okay. Here was one over the weekend. I was just scrolling on Twitter and our guy, we got the Monk Zero, has the Kings receiving Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, and Drew Holiday. The Celtics get DeMar Rosen. Here's the kicker here, guys. The Pelicans get Zach LaVine, a San Antonio Spurs first-round pick, and a 2031 Minnesota first-round pick and second-round pick.
Drugs.
People will pick at your carcass, man. That's all they're doing is trying to pick at a carcass.
But
hold on, Justin. You know what it is? I think they think we don't watch basketball. I think that's what it is. I think they believe that we don't watch anything but the Pelicans, team play basketball. Or, we didn't watch Zach LaVine play this year. We didn't see any of that. They just know a name. It's Zach LaVine, slam dunk champion. Yeah, let's go with that guy.
Like,
what the fuck?
Let me ask you this, Lito. How many, for real, just say Trey was traded for first round picks, just Trey Murphy, no players involved. How many first round picks would you get for Trey Murphy right now?
I say probably 4.
You say 4?
I'm saying, Grab, you was about to say 2?
I mean, because I think if you're just getting picks, I think you're probably getting. It depends on where those first sit. I don't think you're getting 4 for Trey. You know what I'm saying? Because he's missed games the last couple seasons. That's the thing that hurts you with Trey. I think you could get 2 solid first round picks.
How many first round picks is Herb worth? 1? At least 1? 2?
1.
I would say
Herb's
1.
worth 1.
So right there, you're just guaranteeing me at least 3 first round picks. At least 3 first round picks. I got nothing right there. And we're getting Zach LaVine. So I just wanted to be very clear about this. This is why I kind of hate this time of year, because just anybody can just cook up a trade proposal. This is cool. This is great for the Kings. We get Herb, we get Trey, we get Drew. And all we got to give up is Zach LaVine, a couple picks. Yeah, let's do it. It's
the Pelicans don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing with their picks. That's like
we're talking about the Kings.
Yeah, then we're talking about the guru guy with the Lakers. Remember when he was talking about Jackson Hayes?
Got it from the depths of hell.
Oh, we saved Jackson Hayes from the depths of the Pelicans. Wonder how that worked out.
Where that though?
Not great. So, anyways,
now they trying to have us sign him again in free agency. That's
no okay. See, this is where it gets. Crazy. This is where it gets crazy, Lito. The sports books have the Pelicans as the second favorite odds for the Pelicans to sign Jackson Hayes. It's like, what? It's like, yeah, I agree with you, but it's hard to ignore. It's hard to ignore. It's just been a heck of a weekend. A lot of negative news, and it's just hard to ignore this when you have these idiots just cooking up these trade proposals. But anyways, Grub, we'll start with you. So Kevin O'Connor said that there are no untouchables on the Pelicans roster. I want to hear everybody's thoughts on this. Do you believe that? Do you believe that there are no untouchables on this roster?
Believe it in the practical sense, but not in the real sense.
Explain
certainly, they will take a call about anybody on this roster.
But
they'll listen to the phone
But wouldn't anybody do that? I know.
No. If they call about Wemby in San Antonio, nobody's taking that call. You know what I'm saying? They're not taking that call. If you call the Lakers right now about Luka, they're not taking the call. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There are a few players. SGA, they're not taking the call on SGA. I think there may be 4 or 5 guys where you're not taking the call. Not many, but there's 4 or 5. But if the Pelicans, it's how much you're going to listen. And I think there's certainly players that they'd really listen for. Like CJ is certainly somebody that they're taking all the calls on CJ. They're taking the calls on Kelly. They'll take calls on DeJounte, even though there's not going to be a lot of calls for DeJounte, but they'll take those calls. They'll take calls on Herb, but you're going to have to overpay for Herb. For them, if you want Herb Jones out of the Pelicans' hands, they're going to make a team overpay for Herb. So I think that there are definitely players that they are looking more so than others. But the Pelicans are in no position to be turning down phone calls if they can get better. Like, how do you not take calls when you haven't gotten past the second round ever? Like, so I think you have to take them.
I think shit, we have the second round in like what, 7 years, 8 years, 6 years, 6, 7, 8 years. Shit. It's been 7 years.
8 years.
8 years. That's crazy. Lito, is there any untouchables for you on this roster?
I'm with what Grubb said. Like
to me, I think it's gonna sound crazy, but like right now, today, I think Trey's untouchable because unless the offer's insane. So I guess that I am listening to calls.
That's what I'm saying. Like I've always said, for me, I don't.
It's just the years of control for me for Trey.
It would have to be a SGA, a Jokic,
You're just not gonna get that, yeah.
So somebody like that. For me, brother, I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to talk. Like I'm down to do business. Shop open.
Okay, Jared.
Trey. I mean, Trey and Zion. Okay, it's just a higher tier of untouchability, right? Like somebody got to make an insane offer. Woo!
Oh, Denzel, appreciate it.
Denzel, bro.
Appreciate the
Shout
super
out.
chat, bro. Thank you, man.
Appreciate you, dog.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Jared.
No, it has to be like an insane offer. I mean, hell, the Lakers probably trying to hear offers about anybody if they could, right? Like no one's truly untouchable, especially with like the Luka thing, right? Like once that happened, that just opened up the floodgates that anybody could be traded at any point in time, no matter what. Even just look at the return that they got, right? They didn't even have to give up Reeves in that, so like anybody is available. So it just doesn't matter at this point.
Lito, who do you think the first player moved is? Who do you think the first player traded is?
God willing, DeJounte.
Hey,
No. I understand, but who do you? I understand.
Hey.
Did you mean disrespect with that? Or did you want to go?
Nah, I mean it's no disrespect because listen. Here's the thing. I don't bro. I love DeJounte Murray. I love his attitude. I love his.
Yeah.
I love his availability. I love his.
He's a good dude.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's working hard. So it's literally not him. It's just a situation.
But I think in order
it's not
to
him.
move
It's me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I think just in order to move him right now, there's just like I don't think he's first off the board, unless you're attaching.
I don't think he's first off the board, but I really do think it's got to be a priority move this offseason.
It has to be.
Who do I think is first off the board?
Yeah, who's first off?
I don't. CJ? I don't know. CJ? I'm gonna say CJ.
That was mine. Grab who's first off the board.
Yeah, I think it has to be CJ. Like it just feels like it's got to be CJ.
Am I the only one? I'm gonna take some heat from this. Am I gonna be the only one that's pissed off that CJ's not on this team next year? And y'all gonna be like, no, I get it. Like on Twitter, this dude is a constant professional.
Situation.
He's averaged 20 points or more for 10 straight seasons. 11 is it 10 or 11 straight seasons?
The problem. He ain't the problem.
No, he's one of the best shooters in the league. He changed his game in order to play alongside Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. He's given back to the city. He's been great on the court. He's been great off the court. He's been available. And he's the first one out. And look, it's an expiring, $30-something million contract. I get it. But like the fact, like this fan base, like I just really disagree with like how much they like dislike CJ. Look, he no-showed the playoffs. I'll give you that. But shit, he's the only reason he was the main reason we were in the playoffs.
Like I don't understand how anybody can be mad at that dude. Like, what has he not done as far as what his job was supposed to be? He was supposed to be the third guy, and he's given you lead player moments. Like third guys don't give you 50 more than once. You know what I'm saying? He's given you 3 50-point games with the Pelicans. 3
50-point.
The dude is the all-time 3-point shooter for the Pelicans, and he did that in 3+ seasons. Okay, like what more was he supposed to do for that money and the role that he took when he came in. I'm going to be behind Zion and Brandon. They're going to be the leaders. My job is to be the veteran who helps drag them along and to continue. He did everything he was supposed to do. He talked to him. He showed up for press conferences. He said the right things. He was at practice. He came to games. He did what he was supposed to do. And I don't get when people, well, he missed these shots on this, but he ain't supposed to be taking all them shots. The shots are there and nobody else wanted to take them. The team wouldn't shoot threes. He was shooting 10 a night for you. Like the CJ slander has to stop.
Hey, bro. Justin, you're not alone.
That's cool.
You're not alone. Remember when we were trading Josh Hart, right? Not that I like Josh Hart, but like we were trading Josh Hart. I'm like, man, I don't want to get rid of a smart basketball player for another smart basketball player. I'm just trying to accumulate as many smart basketball players as I possibly can.
That's a smart thought.
Right? You would think so. Like, no, I don't want to lose CJ. I don't personally. Like, I feel like I got better as an analyst because I watched CJ McCollum play basketball on a constant.
I'm going to cut you off here. You get to see what a professional looked like every single day and work at his craft when we were in the building and covering the team.
Dog, I got to ask CJ questions about basketball, and he would give me like these detailed ultra analysis about it, like how he thought. Like, wouldn't you want that around instead of, we just got to play harder? The energy wasn't there tonight.
Force.
Talking to him about what he would see, when Larry was there. I just remember this question, and I was asking him about, like a 2-man game between him and Larry. Like, what do you see? It was like a flare screen, and like, that's basketball. That's what you want to talk about. But yet, you'd have times where Zion and Brandon would just skip the fucking press conference. Like, and that dude had to show up and talk. He took bullets for them dudes, man, all the time. But no.
See, that's what a lot of people don't know.
He's a terrorist. That's what they keep saying. Like, he's a terrorist. Like, what? You sure about that?
Bro, Lito said when we first traded for him, like his first full year, Lito literally told me, he goes, CJ McCollum will be like one of the best players in franchise history. Like easily top 4, top 5 franchise history.
I won't go that high, but
I mean,
top 10 for sure, easily.
Chris, like, can you say DeMarcus Cousins? Can you say him?
Like, your time is so limited. Are you really? Hell, everybody's time is limited at this point.
Like CJ or Baron Davis?
CJ. Baron only played 1 year.
I know. So Jamal Mashburn or CJ McCollum?
CJ.
Top 4, top 5. Brandon or CJ?
CJ.
Ooh, now we podding. CJ over Brandon? Yeah.
Where
more available?
Where is he on the record books? Where is he in the hierarchy, the stats? Because I think Brandon's
top 10 in everything.
But is he number 1 in anything?
He's still number 1 in 3-point. Oh, Brandon? Brandon ain't number 1 in nothing.
Brandon ain't number 1.
No, Brandon. No.
Yeah.
I think Brandon's 5th. I think Brandon's 5th in points, if I'm not mistaken, bro.
It still drives you easily that CJ passed Brandon in 3-point attempts. 3-point makes in 2 years. Like, that part right there. Like, for CJ and Trey both to be Trey is number 3 and CJ's number 1. Like, it tells you where this panel has been. Where this team has been with shooting threes, man.
Grub, what do you? Go ahead. Yeah, no, go ahead, Leo.
I just wanted to say about CJ, like this. It's unfortunate because the situation calls for him to be traded. It's not him. It's nothing to do with his ability. Right. His ability actually is perfect. Like, he has literally removed himself from being a mid-range ISO player to being a catch and shoot, more of a catch and shoot 3-point player. Right? He said, I forgot which off season it was, but I think it was probably second year here, where he said, I'm going to work on my game this offseason. You saw him at Country Day. You saw the changes in real time. You saw what he was working on.
His first day back from the hand surgery, this dude it was crazy. I've never seen a professional workout. Like, not many people are lucky enough to see professionals like in sports get to do one-on-one workouts or even after workouts, what that kind of looks like. CJ was literally full court sprinting. I mean, dead ass full court sprinting for 20 straight minutes. It was just impressive. Dude works hard. Great guy, great community guy. Like, he just gets a lot of slander for, like, what does he get slandered for? Is it for all the shot taking? Is it like
he's not as cool.
For not being a number one.
Nah, I think.
But he's not. But Grub. He's not a number one.
No,
He's not a number two. He was supposed to be a number three.
He's not cool, bro. That's the problem. He's not cool. You know what I mean? Like, he's not like the people. He's not people. He's not like a person that people want to be like, right? Like, you know, it's fucked up. But like, you'll see CJ like dude like, you know, Stephon Urkel, you know, arch nemesis, or like, he's just not that, which is fine. Just like the way he's playing basketball, like, graded as that. You know, all the off the court stuff, which I think he does really well. Yeah, I don't think people just have like a sound mind when it comes to, you know, viewing basketball players as just basketball players.
You know, the thing is, they not cool.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying? They not cool.
Yeah.
They laughed at that man for stretching. Like, they laughed at him for something you should be doing, not as a basketball player, as a human being. You literally need to stretch every day. They laughed at him because he got a stretching routine.
Yeah,
bro.
And he's the most available out of all three of them.
And they made that dude, you know, play the point guard position. He's not a point guard, never claimed to be a point guard. They told him to run that. He got double doubles as a point guard, trying to figure that shit out. And then just the building of a relationship with Trey, with, you know, figuring out with different dudes in the backcourt all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and having to do that as a guard and navigate that, I think is still he took the responsibility when nobody else would take it. And he lived with the consequences of it. Like you say, he showed up and that man lived with the consequences. And he heard people booing. You know what I'm saying? I know he heard them people booing in that arena and he had to be thinking, what do you want from me? Because I'm here 60 plus nights. I'm here 70 plus nights. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what? I'm giving you 25. I'm giving you these games, and y'all are still like, if I was him, I wouldn't be hanging around anymore either. Like, I've done what I was supposed to do. The organization failed me. Like Lito said, it ain't him. It's just the circumstances.
Yeah. And Chris, look, I don't disagree with. I think CJ has been really bad in the postseason. I'm not disagreeing with you. But hold up, Lito. But he is probably the main reason why you're literally in a position to be either in the playing game or the playoffs. Because first off, he's more available. He's been more available than Brandon or Zion ever has. Consistently, he's literally the best shooter on your team. He's averaged, once again, 20 or more for a decade straight. Yes, Lito. I don't know how we're talking about CJ McCollum, but here we are.
What was the name? Chris XI.
Shout out Chris. Shout out Chris. No, I think it's an LXI.
Whatever it is. Who is not on this team? Who is not a basketball terrorist in the playoffs? You have a player who is a generational talent who is non-existent in the playoffs.
No, he's never played in the playoffs. Like,
non-existent. Look him up. He doesn't exist. He's a ghost.
Wait, stop. I gotta stop the show. Just tweaking because I like some of your takes.
In the stream.
I like
We're not doing
some of your comments. I like some of your comments. But Jordan Hawkins is not a better shooter than CJ. Shout out to you though.
Just tweaking is tweaking.
Yeah.
He's not a better shooter than Jose. He's not a better shooter than Jose. Jose shot 38% from three last year. Like, what are we talking about? Antonio Reeves had more 5.5 made three games than Jordan did. Like, what are we talking about?
See, and then Jordan got to catch.
See now, Jordan, and then Jose has to catch a stray.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, just tweaking. Look what you did.
Yeah.
This is your fault.
And you know what? You know who gets blamed? We get blamed.
Because you want to say something idiotic.
Tweaking. Hold on. Where's the?
What we need to do now is get focused and stop pointing fingers. You're a problem. You're a real problem. problem.
Shout out Tweegan.
Tweet.
Appreciate all your support. Leader, do you want to finish your thoughts?
The other dude who had
Chris LX.
No. I ain't talking about him. I'm talking about the other dude who got traded. I don't want to say his name. The other dude who got traded, he had a great he that Sun series. He was very good for.
Oh
3
wow,
games.
you're not even saying his name anymore.
Voldemort.
He don't play for us.
That's fair.
Really got to acknowledge him. He was great for 3 games. I never seen him in the playoffs again. And when I did see him, they got a Canadian that gave that man hell. And then Willie Green had me defending Brandon. He like this shit is all fucked up.
I forgot about that press conference. I totally forgot about that presser. What did he say again? He said Brandon got to figure it out.
Got to figure it out.
I don't know.
Yo, y'all look at y'all. Obviously, we all been watching the playoffs. Could you imagine if Tibbs would have came out after that game and said, "Man, you know what? Brunson got to figure that shit out. He got to figure that out."
Wait. Roy, we're losing the plot here. It was Hawkins was a better shooter than CJ. I still think Hawkins' stats are not good. I still think Jordan Hawkins is a good shooter, though, if that makes sense. It doesn't make sense, but I think he's a good shooter. He's just playing under Willie Green. Do you think, Jared, do you think a head coach can affect a player's shot in confidence, I guess?
Hell yeah. A player?
Can you blame a coach for Jordan Hawkins shooting 33% from deep?
All right.
As weird as the question that is, but like, can you?
There has to be like a range, right? Like, oh, Jordan was supposed to shoot like 40%. Hell no. If Jordan could have made like 35%, yeah, maybe he can have an impact like that. Like, possibly. You know, like Willie Green ain't out there, you know, when Jordan misses a wide open 3, like that's Willie Green's fault. Like, no, it's not.
Right.
But also, you know, there are times where, you know, a guy named Willie Green could impact it in a mental state, right? Like not giving confidence or not put him in an advantageous positions where, remember that time they had him dribbling the basketball up the floor? Like,
I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. Put him in, and that's the main thing about a coach there is like you have to put players in positions to succeed. That's like the number one goal. But did you see like, Leo, did you want to say something?
Why do you have that man dribbling the basketball up the floor? Like, why? How is that helping him as a shooter? Like real shit. I'm not even trying to be a dick.
You got Herb Jones in that sequence too, right there, who played point guard. But I don't even know what I was gonna. Hey, for real, smash the like button. I just need y'all to smash the like button. All right, let's get some trade proposals. So everybody besides Lito cooked up a trade proposal.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And then. So we'll start off with this one. This is Grubb's trade. The Orlando Magic received CJ McCollum and Jordan Hawkins. The Pelicans in return get Cole Anthony, Wagner, Gary Harris, Jet Howard, and pick number. I gotta take that. What pick number is that?
It's 16
Pick
or
number
25.
16.
I think either first rounder would be fine with me.
Okay.
And I
Go
would
ahead.
say the reason that I make that trade is just because it sets you up for other things. It's not the big deal that would blow folks away and be the thing that alters the face of the future of the franchise. But what I think it does is set you up that you get off that CJ contract. You get a bunch of guys who are on either 1 year. 3 of those guys are on the last year of their deals. And so you can get off of those contracts if they're no good. But if they are good, they're all young players at positions of need, like a Mo Wagner. You have him as a center. He's a guy who can shoot it from distance. He can be that long range center for you, and so you don't have to develop that. Jet Howard, at the 3 spot can play 3 or small ball 4, make a lot of threes. A guy who could shoot. Gary Harris, a veteran. You don't have to worry about him being a problem. You have your backup point guard fixed. And Cole Anthony, he's got a very reasonable contract. And if you don't want to keep him around, he's still tradable. You get that second first-round pick this year, whether it's 16 or 25, so that allows you at 7 to draft a player who's like, you could get Con Knipple at 7, and then 16 or 25, you can find that big that you want. And so now you've addressed 2 needs in this draft. You filled out positions of need on your roster. And so that the only thing you're really looking for now is a veteran center. But you've got everything else as far as like the positions that you needed to fill this offseason, and you've done it by still maintaining your cap flexibility.
Lito, are you doing that trade?
That's beautiful. Listen, this is why I grow my dog. Justin laughed at me, Grub. I said I had a 5-team trade. In the trade, I literally had CJ going to Orlando, and I was cool with either getting one of the 3, Goga, Wendell, or Wagner. I'm also cool. I think I didn't have Hawk, but I had us we were trying to get a pick back. We were getting a pick back, and we were either going to get Cole or Anthony Black. Like whoever was however the salary worked out, whoever was the best player for us at the time. But anyways, yes, I'm absolutely doing that deal.
Jared, you just say you don't want to trade CJ.
I don't, but I always thought Orlando was the match made in heaven. They need a guy like CJ, his ability to shoot, and they generate a lot of good looks, especially with the gravity that Paolo and Franz create. So yeah, I always thought that was a good, and they need him, right? Like the Pelicans needed CJ at that time. Orlando needs CJ. They need his veteran, ability. Yeah. And he probably would love Florida. Probably, I mean, to a certain degree. And also Jordan, I think he would need a fresh start too. Yes. So it could see even beneficial. But for the Pelicans, just that overhaul and using those picks and or players and talent and future trade options, I think it kind of works both sides.
Yeah. You know the funny thing about that trade, obviously they're getting CJ, but Orlando would be losing their best shooter.
Anthony Wagner, Gary Harris.
Well, percentage-wise, they would be losing their best shooter.
Yeah, I like Cole Anthony at 2 more years at 13 mil.
You talking about Cole Anthony, the guy you could have drafted?
Don't get me. Me and you, we're on the same. We're on the same page. That and J9.
I wonder who you drafted over him.
Who you drafted?
Oh, don't say it.
What's his name?
Do you know it, Jared?
Huh?
You know it?
I know it.
What's his name? Say his name.
He don't play. He don't play here no more. Ain't no need to say his name.
All right. He who shall not be named.
Yeah.
All right. I went with mine. Look, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I don't do the whole trade thing.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, Lito. You didn't even turn one in. Okay, you didn't even turn a trade proposal in. But I'm not good at it. But anyway,
I'm just here to hate.
That's fine. It's a Giannis trade. Bucks get Jalen Green, Olynyk, Reed Shepherd, and they get all their picks back. We get number 10. I think for some reason, I want 2 top 10 picks. Get Jabari back on a year. They get Giannis and Hawkins.
We talked about this last night. I told you I don't think the framework of it is bad at all. I think that I need go back to it. Go back to it.
Do you think the Pelicans are giving up too much? No, it's not this one. Sorry. Do you think the Pelicans are giving up? I mean, both
the pick swaps. I mean, I told you about the pick swaps.
Talent-wise, the Pelicans come out the worst.
Right.
Because Milwaukee's basically getting 4 first-rounders and Kelly's expiring contract, right? Which is the price you play for Giannis. I get that. That's fair. But it feels like the Pelicans should get one more player somewhere. Like there needs to be some more talent.
I just like 7 and 10. I like 2 picks, top 10, to where maybe I can package those
nice.
up for a player. 7 and 10 are nice. Because then we talked about like the Mallow action. I know, Grub, you're high on Mallow action. I'm not. But I think with 7 and 10, like, I don't know, like you start building for the future, and then you keep, Zion and Trey, and like, can you start building around? And then maybe you can flip 7 and 10. I don't know. First, I want 2 top 10 picks. Lito, go ahead.
Justin, I think I told you I ain't like the pick swaps, and I think I would ask for Tyree Eason.
You wanted Eason. That's right. You wanted Eason.
Because I'm with Grubb. If you the only thing is the talent. Because
What
I
do you
like
think about this, Lito, with Jabari?
I like
I think you
Jabari.
could get Whitmore. Whitmore might be the target because Whitmore doesn't get
You think-
minutes.
yeah.
And y'all have said, y'all have said like distressed properties, dudes that are undervalued somewhere else who need minutes and want to get on the floor. If you're potentially thinking about a Herb Jones trade down the road too, if you think that you need to get off of that Herb Jones deal and you want to rebuild, then having a Cam Whitmore in the pocket, I think is a good thing to have too, because I think you can still ratchet that dude up defensively. So I think I'd ask for Cam Whitmore too, because they seem to have given up on him. So I would take that dude.
See, quality. That's what I'm thinking. Quality guy.
Shout out to Grubb again. I had Cam coming to New Orleans. I'm trading Fred and Jabari to Milwaukee, couple picks, but I had Cam rerouting to us.
Say it again. See, this is. Go ahead. Say it again.
Jabari, Fred, VanVleet, and my phone's over there. Jabari, Fred, VanVleet. I literally I did the shit. I just was like, I had a deal. I was trying. I just couldn't.
Just why don't you go get your phone?
I couldn't get the second apron to work.
Just get your phone.
Hold on.
All right, Grubb or not Grubb? Last trade. So Grubb, you think we need to add one more player that Pels?
I'd ask for Whitmore. I think you could get Whitmore.
You think I get Whitmore?
I think
there?
you could.
If I get Whitmore, I'd be happy. Fuck yeah, I'd be happy about that. You're muted, Jarrett.
Yeah, especially with the athleticism.
Yeah,
would make sense. Like you need another
and
talent.
you're supposed to take Cam Whitmore, and everyone wanted to take Cam. A lot of people wanted to take Cam Whitmore over Hawkins, but the injury scares. All right, so this is Jarrett's.
Yeah. So the premise is the first deal of business is to move off DeJounte, right? If you can make that happen now, that's like prime thing for me. If I can move off him with that contract, I again, that's the ideal thing. The Bucks, if they're trying to be like very strategic about this, they're trying to lose, right? They know DeJounte won't be playing, Dame won't be playing. I mean, you just got Harrison Barnes and Jeremy Shohan. I mean, it is what it is. But you get your picks back, right, from the Pelicans. I mean, this is the time to kind of cash in on that. The Spurs, of course, get Giannis, and then we end up with a shooter in Devin Vassell, which I truly like. And then we can kind of use his contract eventually later on if need be. Him and Trey, their ability to shoot the ball, and we get the number 2 pick. So essentially, we're killing a lot of birds with one stone.
So you get 2 and 7 there, right?
Yeah, 2 and 7.
You could get like a Dylan Harper and a Derek Queen, and that's See, me and you. That's why when you text me and you were on the same thought process. You traded up to get number 2. I traded back to get 10, but I still like 2 picks in the top 10. I do. I'm not saying it's a very game changing draft, but there are some solid role players that will have nice careers in this draft.
And then you get like the premier talent, right? I think Flag and Harper are the premier talents in this draft. If you get one of those, you can just kind of land on, I would love to land on Derek Queen. Pause. Damn, that was crazy. That was insane. Hey, hit the button, man.
What we need to do now is get focused and stop pointing fingers. You're a problem. You're a real problem.
We ain't no motherfucking freaks. We some family men. We getting it paper. Know what I'm talking about?
Double.
I know young prospect ain't not even trying to come at me wrong or sideways. Like the Bucks need us. You know what I mean? The Bucks need us. So I'm not really tripping about helping the Spurs. Like if Giannis doesn't like San Antonio, he's leaving anyway. It's only a 2-year. Like got 2 years left. So I'm trying to use what I can to help me. I know the Pelicans aren't going to win next year, but this gives them a better base on kind of how to move forward. So this would be the most opportune time to cash in on said picks.
Hey, Justin.
Yeah.
I think that, listen, regardless of wherever Giannis goes, right? I think the Pelicans got to find a way to get in on it. They got to find a way
Let's
to.
get in the Giannis trade.
Yes,
I think they're automatically.
Yeah.
I think they're automatically like involved, and I agree with you, Lito. Like it's just the Bucks. It's very clear with the Bucks if they're going to part ways with Giannis. It's very obvious what they want back in their picks because they're not going to be good for years. So who owns that? The New Orleans Pelicans. So I think they got to be back.
The GM said he go ask. Say he asking for heaven and hell.
What didn't they? Weren't they supposed to meet a couple weeks ago? Giannis and the team. Did anything ever come of that meeting?
I think they met, but I hadn't heard anything since.
Damn.
Yeah, I think they're gonna trade Dame eventually, right? Like Giannis.
He's kind of like.
So
DeJounte.
I think he's.
If you're Milwaukee, like you're gonna lose. Like you're gonna be bad anyway. The best thing to do is get your own picks back.
Dang. How many more years does Dame have?
I believe 3.
Three. I think
Contract? Oh,
He's got 3 years left.
I think. Hold on.
I believe so.
Holy
I think it's-
shit!
because they had to extend him when he got to Portland, so they gave him a 4-year deal, and this was year 2. So I think he has 2 more years. Or no, it might be 3. You're right. It might be 3 years left on that deal.
Yo,
Yeah. 2, Oh, it's 2 including next season. That's what Quality Dividends is saying. 2 including next season. So, but still, that's a lot of losing in the meantime.
It's a lot of losing. And Justin, you right, bro. They pretty much in the same position as the Pelicans with DeJounte. Like they got to get off it. They got to get off the contract.
but you have to attach assets to that. That's why, like, they don't have any. That's why they got to get those picks back. They got to.
You getting hit for what, $54 million this year and $58
Dead
next
money.
year.
Ain't no way Dame does not take his player option. This is what I said last year. Who else is going to pay him $60 million? He's taking that player option. He's picking it up. That's going to be somebody else's responsibility because whomever Dame is taking it. He's taking that check.
I don't blame him, bro. I can't say I blame him.
Nah, but like this is why, just tweaking. This is why I like Jarrett's or Grubbs so far, because you get a Cole Anthony who can play the point, or you get a Dylan Harper who can. I'm not saying he might, who knows? I don't know if he'd be good or not, but like I'd be excited to watch him take over the starting point guard role as a rookie. I think that'd be a lot of fun to watch. Grubb, do you like this trade?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, anything that gets you 2 is certainly a good deal. Vassell closes your hole at the shooting guard position. It still allows you the flexibility to move CJ and make deals. I think it puts you in a good position. You didn't give up anything other than picks that, again, they're a crapshoot. You know what you're getting at least in this draft. And then for 2026, you still have a pick. Next year, you have the Orlando pick. So you're just losing the pick for 2027. I think you can get that back in one of these other deals that you figure the Pelicans are going to make, whether it's the CJ deal, whether it's an Olynyk deal, whether it's an eventual Zion deal. You figure you're going to get picks further down the road. So I think, that trade that gets you number 2 and it lets you solve your point guard problem and gives you the flexibility to go get either more shooting or more size, then I think, you have to take that in order to solve the biggest problems on your roster all at one time.
Hey, Grug, can I ask you a question? How? I obviously, this is the point guard situation. Like this is paramount. How do you think the Pelicans would draft? Do you think they would draft a point guard like Fears, or do you think they would take a swing at somebody like that in the draft?
I think if you do, then that means you got to sign somebody. Like you can't draft somebody in this draft as a point guard. If you think Fears is going to play this year, like if you can't start him, like you can't start him, and that means you got to rearrange your bench.
Right.
So if you're the Pelicans, you have to rearrange the bench completely because Jose is getting all your backup point guard minutes right now, and even if he's the starter, you can't play him heavy minutes. So you're still throwing Fears out there with nobody to teach him the position. Like, who are you relying on to teach that young man how to play point guard? So, I mean, if you take Fears, you have to go sign. Like, you got to beg Chris Paul to come to New Orleans and be like, dude, you got to teach this kid something because who else is going to do it? Like, I think that's the biggest thing. With Harper, at least you figure at his size, he can figure stuff out. But at 6'3", a guy 6'3" who never really had to create for other people, like that's the problem with most of the younger point guards coming in. And Fears is also the youngest player in the draft too, isn't he? Like he's one of the 2 or 3 youngest players in this draft. So
Yeah.
you already did that with Kyra. You know what I'm saying? Kyra was one of the youngest players in his draft.
That was
And you had no system to teach that kid anything, and you had nothing to do but put him out there and say, try stuff, and then he would go and sit on a bench for months at a time. You can't do that in this draft. You can't come out of this draft without guys that you can put in the rotation immediately. That's what you got to get at 7 or at 2 if you're getting at 2. You got to get somebody who can play rotational minutes, not start maybe. I mean, if you get Malowak, you starting him. But if you get another player on the perimeter, then you need somebody who can play 15, 20 minutes every night.
The Kyra Lewis thing made me think of something, Grub. I'm glad you mentioned this. There have been some crazy Willie Green substitutions. Crazy. Nothing, and I mean nothing, will ever be, as you mentioned, Kyra Lewis hadn't played in probably 5 weeks. It's OKC, it's New Orleans, it's the 9-10 matchup. Lose and you go home. Win and you advance. And first off the bench is fucking Kyra Lewis.
Great moment. Great moment.
This man had been playing in 6 weeks, and he threw him first off the bench. So it got me to thinking. So that was the Kyra Lewis thing. So then today, Fletcher Mackel had a good tweet about his belief in Trey Murphy, right? And so, he says that if Trey Murphy is unleashed and used as the alpha by head coach Willie Green and staff, Trey Murphy can be what for Nola, what SGA or Halliburton have been for OKC and Indiana. And my thing with this is that it's the Willie Green problem. Year 1, he chose Tony Snell over Trey Murphy. Playing game against the Clippers, in which Tony Snell hit the side of the backboard. In year 2, after the All-Star weekend, after Trey Murphy killed, even though he should have won the dunk contest, he absolutely crushed All-Star weekend. How does he get rewarded by his head coach? Benched. Josh Richardson. You're in the starting lineup. Year 3, the best duo you had was Zion Williamson that complemented each other. That was Zion Williamson and Trey Murphy. But yet, you would sub Trey in for Zion on a nightly basis. Year 4, you still don't run plays for Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy will never be that because of his head coach. And there's no doubt about it that I think Willie Green does a horrific job with playing through Trey Murphy or Zion Williamson, whatever it may be. And he's just never adjusted to it. And by the way, I know Trey's not one of this great defensive player, but Willie Green has had problems with Trey over the last couple of years. So I don't think that Trey can reach his full potential under Willie Green.
Trey is a willing defender, though. Like that part is
he
like
wants to learn, he wants to try. Yeah,
yeah. And I think I think the thing that we would all say is that the Pelicans' biggest problem on offense is there is no creativity to it. Like you can't just rely and say, well, we have to play with a 0.5 mentality. The ball's got to move. Well, sometimes the ball don't move. What do you do now? How many pick and rolls did we see with Zion and Trey? How many times do we see a 2-man game with them? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how many times when Trey was forced out on the perimeter on those nights where he was getting assists and everything, but nobody ever set a ball screen for him. Nobody ever did a pin down for him. Nobody ever ran him through a stagger so he could get on the other side of the ball. Like you see for so many of these other shooters in the league where you just create these opportunities. Trey doesn't get
as a back screener. Like Steph Curry is like he's one of the best screeners in the league. That's why he gets open so much because of the back screens that he sets. Like Trey Murphy never sets a back screen. He's never told to. Like the only set that Willie Green runs for him, and y'all know what I'm about to say, is he goes screen, flare screen. Like that is the only set you see for Trey Murphy. Go ahead, Jared.
Dog, you know what's so frustrating about this? Is that you can't even ask Willie Green about that. You can't even ask him about it. Maybe I just haven't found a way to ask. I didn't find a way to ask the right questions. Maybe I just didn't know how to put it in a way that was conducive for him. But I asked Willie Green that specifically. Has there been a conversation between him and the coaching staff about ball movement or off-ball screening? And he said no.
No.
That's all it was. No.
And he said they don't run. He's like when we asked about Trey on multiple occasions this past season, we said, "Do y'all do anything for Trey when you notice he hasn't gotten a shot for 5 minutes?" No.
Do y'all remember?
No.
Do y'all remember in OKC when he was the leading scorer game one? Pelicans can win game one on the road in OKC last year. And Trey
He couldn't
Murphy's
get a shot.
He didn't have a shot attempt for the last 10 minutes. And Lito, me and you have gone back and forth on this. Like, you could blame the player, you could blame the coach. When one of your best players doesn't get a shot for 10 minutes, that's on the coach. You have multiple stoppages, you have multiple timeouts. You get him a shot. I'm not saying he's going to hit the shot, but you have to get him a look.
No,
that's on the coach.
We disagree about the point about Zion. I'm totally with you on the Trey point. No, I'm. That man was the reason you were in the game. He was the reason why you were winning the game. The fourth quarter came and you just forgot about it. What is he supposed to do? And the fact that you have two journalists up here in Five and Grub who have asked questions, and literally the only answer that you getting back is no. There's no in-depth conversation. There's nothing. It's so shallow, bro. I run into CJ at like, I'm not gonna say what we be, but anyways, I run into CJ and like just having a, you know what I'm saying, like blah 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 in passing, and it could literally be a 30-second conversation, and it'll be so much basketball that you kind of like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel smarter that we could have that kind of conversation. I talk to Grub often about different things. When it comes to basketball, I'm listening because I know I'm gonna get smarter in that conversation. Justin, you were sitting next to me in media day where I asked Willie Green a question about playing Herb like Draymond Green. I asked him about. I wanted him to expound upon it. It was a layup, such an easy question. Yes, we have talked about that. That was it. That's what he said.
He's not very good in the media room.
You had me at not very good. You had it right there. You had nothing else after that.
But Jared, I tell you this
no
all the
adjectives
time,
needed.
I tell you this all the time though. Like, if you're gonna lose the game, you gotta win the presser. You gotta win the presser. There have been too many nights you lost the game and you lost the presser.
Over 2 in one night. That's crazy.
Like, he's had some, like, the money I want to keep money in my pocket comment. He had, obviously, Brandon's got to figure it out. He's had some bad ones. To give him credit.
I mean,
what did he say? He
said
something crazy this year.
But I think, you look at the broadcast.
He said,
man.
we got to play. I'm sorry,
look
bro.
at the
We got to play
halftime.
through. We got to play through Kelly Olynyk. That's what he said. We got to play through Kelly Olynyk.
I mean, think about the half times on the nights when it's, when it's one of the assistant coaches and the kind of detail that they give about the adjustments and stuff like that. And then when you go to the post and you're asking those same questions, they just got asked at halftime, and you get nothing. You get no explanations. And it's not that. I think that the fundamental part that Willie doesn't understand is that it's not a gotcha moment. That's not what anybody's trying to do. We are literally trying to understand so that we can communicate it as journalists to the fans. Let the fans hear for themselves. And then as journalists be able to come back and say, okay, this is what that meant. This is what we saw. And this is the comparison between the two. But when we don't get anything, we're left to infer. We're left to create. We're left to fill that gap in what we see and what we didn't get told. And I think that part, if he wants to do himself a better service as far as the representation of him and his coaching acumen, you don't have to come down and give us all the details of your game plan, but just give us some insight as to what your processes are, so that we can all move on from it. But as long as we get nothing, we're gonna keep asking.
What's crazy? Just talking about this, like, his coaching staff, like, the staff is good. Like, there are good coaches on that staff. But when you don't listen to their adjustments, to what they're seeing, I don't know how you can better yourself as a coach.
That's
I have no
like
idea.
that's like Willie Green is his coach staff is like a po' boy. You know what I mean? Like imagine him being lettuce, right? Like imagine eating a po' boy with a lettuce wrap. Like, you got all the great,
It's dressed.
you
Wait,
got
it's dressed.
everything.
It's dressed.
Yeah, it's nicely dressed. It's all that. And you gonna wrap that in some lettuce. Oh
Oh my god.
well, it's just not gonna work. It's just not gonna
Just
like
call them lettuce.
you gonna have all the great ingredients and then put that shit in some lettuce. All right.
But I don't understand.
Lettuce.
Like,
It
I
worked.
can't believe, bro. I can't believe it's June 1 and he's still the head coach. It's shocking to me.
I don't. Nothing shocks me here anymore.
Look, look. I will say this though, in his defense,
No.
I'm a nice guy.
No.
Nice guy.
No.
He's headed. Wait, hold up, Lito. Hold up. He's had to deal with injuries. That's a fact.
No, not injuries.
No, I know. Look, I don't think he's not a good head coach. Probably a really nice guy.
Yes.
Who cares if he's nice?
Who cares?
I don't. I don't. I'm just saying he's a pretty nice guy. I don't care.
He, in his defense, he's defended his players on offense better than anybody else in the NBA.
By the
You're
way,
like he's the NBA equivalent of Dean Smith holding Jordan to 20. Like, it's
The
Damn.
Jordan rule.
it's
The
just too
Willie-
many things, right? Like ultimately it's too many things. Like take the injuries out of it. Again, it's the losing record against the East. It's the lack of it's always losing the first and third quarters. Like that part has been consistent year after year. It's the lack of long winning streaks. It's the lack of home winning. It's the lack of lack. Like there's nothing that you can feel like at least we've done this really, really well. Like even the dude who was there with Griff is saying that the defense thing was smoke and mirrors. Because it did. It showed up in the playoffs against the Thunder. The defense was smoke and mirrors. So it's like, what do you have to lean on? And like we've asked before, ultimately, if you don't think you can win a championship with Willie in 2 years, if you don't think you can win a championship with 2 years, what do you have him for now?
exactly.
Girl, what's that 4 quarter stat? You remember?
You have a winning streak of 4 more wins in like 3 years. Like he hasn't been on a 5-game winning streak.
Bro,
He's had 2 5-game winning streaks and 1 7-game winning streak. One.
What was the
4
last
years.
5-game? What was the last 5-game winning streak?
During
he
the
didn't have one in
49
the
win season, yeah.
No, he didn't.
All 3 of those were in the 49 win season. All 3 of them were in that one. Like,
I know he's had 4.
So that's it.
He had 4. I don't think he had 5. I mean, I'm gonna look that up.
son, the
and
crown.
he got a couple. Remember, because I've been watching the 5-game winning streak. Like it took him. It did not have one until his 4th year. Until his 3rd year. To the 49 win season. He didn't even have a 5-game winning streak till then.
Girl, this what you text me, right? On 26.
Mm-hmm.
Yo,
Mhm.
listen. We don't have to defend him. Like we don't have to.
Jared, who's this? Never seen Holly Grove Steve before.
What's up, Steve?
Just interesting.
1-7.
I think they went like 130 days between road wins over a winning team. It's like there's just too much stuff, man. It's too much.
Fan question comments. Smash like button. Hour in.
What you know, Holly Grove?
That's what
What you know?
I've never saw. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen Holly Grove Steve comment.
What part of Holly Grove you from, Steve? Like what? Give us a street. That's what we need to know.
Holly Grove.
Where your granny from?
Is in
the house.
go Holly Grove.
It's fair, Chuck.
540 point
Like
loss.
that's fine, but like he's just not good. Like,
Wait,
what's
what do you
his-
say? What do you say? You guys are all the way.
This is the thing. This is the thing. This is the thing that even when you miss games, let's take that out of it. Do the Pelicans play with an identifiable style of play?
Nope.
Like if you take, like we talk about the Indiana Pacers, even when they were losing at the beginning of this season, when they were losing out of the gate and everybody said they were underachieving, they were still playing the same basketball they play right now. When the Boston Celtics have injuries, they play the exact same style of play every game. Does not matter. When the Houston Rockets play, no matter who's been in and out, they play the exact same way every night. The same thing with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Don't matter who's in the lineup, they're gonna play the exact same way every night. 1 through 13 of them dudes playing in the playoffs. You can't say that about the Pelicans. Like you can't say what do they do on offense? What do they want to establish on defense? What are their principles as a team from night to night? Like until you have that, like the injuries don't matter because the teams that win in the league play the exact same way every night. At the beginning of the year when the Pelicans lost to the Warriors at the beginning of the year and they were short people on that night against the Pelicans, they played the exact same way. Everybody moving off ball, taking the same shots, even if Steph wasn't there. Even if Draymond's not there, they're taking the same shots. And you don't get that out of the Pelicans until they identify what they want to be. They're going to be a lot of things.
It's
That's
funny.
one of the things that they are. I'm so tired. I'm sorry, Justin. I'm so tired of us acting like this man is a Make-A-Wish kid. Like, brother, he's not good. There's so many coaches in the NBA. We watch games where people don't have their best player, and they still find a way to succeed. Like it does not. Like we gotta stop that narrative. You saw Memphis win 50-something games with Ja Morant. Yeah, like come on, man, stop, man.
I'm with you on that.
Okay.
Are we all right, I was just testing something out.
What that is? Justin, you making beats?
No, I was just thinking like to add some.
Go ahead, Justin.
Justin just trying.
I saw these
What is
beats.
happening?
No, I saw these beats. I was just like,
where do you see that?
it's all the way down.
Gotta be in StreamYard. That's like one of the videos I uploaded before. I've used that.
Oh.
I used that beat before.
That's pretty dope.
Man, Justin in here making beats, man.
Lito, this is your beat.
Oh, I made this?
Yeah. Like literally, you sent us this beat.
I'm sorry.
Shout out to Lito. Smash the like button. Which I think I like the vibe of it, right? All right, so let's get the fan questions, comments. Appreciate everybody. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification when we go live. Some awesome stuff going on. Jarrett, Lito, and Chris have been absolutely killing film breakdowns. Grub obviously goes live on Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. You get content 6 days out of the week. Just hit the bell notification, let you know we're going live.
Yep.
I don't know. I just wanted to hear the music, to be honest with you. All right, let's get the fan question comments. Super chats. Hey, by the way, guys, if y'all remember, I haven't sent y'all a t-shirt package. DM me, email me. Actually, DM Lito. Hit up Lito. Yeah. David O'Connor, appreciate you, man. Member for 6 months. Do people not want us to have a team? You know, I've been seeing some like just move in Seattle. Like, bro, like I would be really sad if they left. I'd be pissed.
Is this a question in regards to critiquing the team? Like I don't understand the context of the question.
No, I think David's being I think it's more of comments and stuff, but I was just like, I don't want the team to leave. I like the team. I actually love the team.
Yeah.
I spend time talking about the team because I love them so much. But like, I want them to be better. I find this insane that like people are okay with like just being mediocre. They've won 2 playoff series in 23 years. Like, I don't know what else. Like, I want them to win. I want them to change something. Their arena is one of the worst arenas in the league. Like, there's so much wrong with the franchise, and people get so pissed off and upset that we hold them accountable. Like, go look at Chicago, New York, Boston, LA. Like, are you like none of this shit would fly? Miami,
Cleveland.
Like, you gotta eventually want better for yourself. Like, especially they keep raising ticket prices. They keep rolling out the shitty product in the shitty arena. Like, no, like we should like want more. Like the bar's gotta be a little bit higher. I don't know why I went on that rant, but it just pisses me off. Like we all invest all this time in the team. Obviously, we like the fucking team. We just want them to be better. Denzel, appreciate the $50 super chat. Once again, yeah, we got t-shirt packages for members. So Denzel, appreciate you, brother. Shane, $2. Do we know what CJ thinks about Willie Green? Grub.
I don't think we know explicitly. You know what I mean? He hasn't said it directly, and he won't. But I think I don't think it matters ultimately what CJ thinks of Willie Green. I think it's what CJ thinks of the situation. And I think he came here seeking an opportunity to win. That opportunity has not presented itself. And I think at this stage, it doesn't matter if he thinks that Willie Green is the greatest coach in the world. For CJ McCollum, if he wants to have a chance of winning a championship, is somewhere else. So I think that's ultimately is what does he think about the franchise? And I don't think he views the Pelicans as a franchise that gives him an opportunity to win.
Shane, another $5 super chat. How are we supposed to succeed as a team moving forward when our coach doesn't like Trey or Zion? Jared. We'll go Jared and Lito. Go both here.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Relationships are funky, right? Like you don't have to like someone. You don't have to like your manager to be good at your job. But sports are kind of different. You need to have some kind of relationship with that person and think and know that they have your best interests moving forward. And there's no way Zion and Trey can honestly believe that Willie Green truly has their best interests moving forward. Like he doesn't develop them. He doesn't like what has he done to really improve their basketball abilities? Like he's done everything to stifle it. So it's
That's so crazy.
I don't think those two things can actually happen where you can have Willie Green and then Zion and Trey Murphy can be successful on the basketball court. It just doesn't happen.
Lito.
I never understood. I can understand the beef with Zion because he's unprepared. He doesn't.
He half-asses it, Lito. Just say he half-asses it.
I didn't necessarily want to say that, but you know what I'm saying? What Justin just said. But the thing with Trey is like Trey is not that. He's not that. He doesn't take any of this shit for granted. I don't understand what his beef from the beginning was with Trey. Like I don't understand. I mean, I've talked to Mr. Kenny, and we've like kind of chopped it up about some of the things, and like I don't think anybody understands it. To be honest with you, like it's just weird.
Yeah. It is.
Also, before you move on, Justin, let me just say this. Cole and Lala
Do we have one more thing?
in the chat. I'm about to spray some water on y'all. I see what y'all saying. I'm not gonna bring up the comments, but for Lauren, just keep going, Justin. Just keep going.
We need to go with the one more thing. We got to get a button for one more thing. Got to.
Ding.
You know what? Maybe it's. Maybe I don't know. All right. Dorothy, I'm not gonna say your last name. $2 super chat.
Whoa.
Appreciate you. If we trade Z with a team pivot to rebuild, grow.
And yeah, like you are in a rebuild if you trade Zion Williamson. You can't. No, there's no way around it. Like you can reframe it, I guess, but it's a rebuild because you're now choosing somebody else as the centerpiece. Whether that's Trey Murphy, if you're making him the centerpiece, or you going outside the organization, because it's not somebody you draft this year. I don't think that you can make the centerpiece of the team. So I think you're looking at a long-term 3 to 4 year rebuild at that stage. So yeah, I think it's definitely a rebuild if you move on from Zion.
Carl, $5 super chat. Appreciate you. Willie Green would put Etouffee over Brown Rice and would shrug if you ask him why he did that.
Nasty word. That's nasty. That's nasty word right there. That's a terrorist activity.
We got to hour 13:45. We got to clip that up. I got to put it in my notes. All right, let's get some more fan questions, comments. If you got questions for us, let them go. Florin, yeah. We do have some John Deere merch. Florin, hit me up. I'll get you some JD merch. Lito, I'm okay with Zion sitting out for a season and getting his life in order, especially that his contract is only $7.9 million guaranteed.
He ain't got to sit out to get his life in order. Why is he sitting out to get his life in order? I ain't paying that man to get his life in order. Like that's not the Pelicans can't be affording to get Yanla to come fix his life. That's not no. You gonna figure this out while you play on some basketball. Like, no, bro, you're not getting a sabbatical. No.
Put a PTO.
No.
The
No.
greatest show ever.
Y'all come fix my life. Nuh-uh.
Grub,
Nope.
Grub said, "Fuck no."
I know, like that was like right to leave. Like, no, fuck this. Leroy Jenkins, I'm going. Quality. Adding David Grubb to the team was like adding the last Infinity Stone. Grubb's been awesome, man. Mont Dog, and that right there, Lito, is why they are a loser organization. They know about these things, but he had double down supporting him. But they want us to believe they didn't do the same with the priest.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All right.
Ooh.
Okay. Game Osborne. Why aren't we hearing from his stepdad? Jarrett, why aren't we hearing from his stepdad anymore? He used to be the voice of Zion. That's a good question, Osborne.
You ever had that conversation with your father? Like the real one when after y'all done got out, anybody ever been in the gloves with their father? Y'all put the gloves on. You was feeling like a man about yourself. I don't know if this has actually happened with Zion and his stepdad. I'm not, but I have. I've been in boxing gloves with my father before. I got a little ahead of myself. I thought I knew better, right? Right, and then we split apart, right? Like we separated. Cool. I started living life. I started failing at life, right? Things started happening. He just watching me. He ain't saying nothing. A few years go by. We have a conversation. He's like, I could have told you all those things, but I wanted you to see it for yourself. As a man, we got to go through things, and fail on our own. I think this is Zion's period of failing on his own and his stepfather not stepping in to save him, because the only person that can save Zion at this point is Zion.
Man, yeah. But you know what though? It's one thing about failure. It's one thing. It's something to see people who have failed before you, especially in the profession that you're in, right? And you have the blueprint of all these pitfalls. It's not something you actually have to go through yourself.
Lito, why are your shoulders facing?
It kind of is though. It kind of is
bro.
though.
Yeah.
Like it's
Okay.
Say, brother, it just kind of is. There's some things that no matter what somebody tell you, until you do it, like everybody thinks I'm the one. Every man has gone through that where you like, I got this. Like it's not, and then it got you. It got you. It's everybody up and got a story.
Yeah.
Varying degrees, but we all got a story.
Hollygrove.
Dog, Grub.
Hollygrove.
No, and he got $250 million.
And we failing over a lot broke.
You know what I mean?
Hollygrove Steve, Willie's our Mark Jackson. Chats are crazy tonight.
Yeah. What do you mean by that? Exactly. Like what part of that? Is he praying on somebody's ankle? Like what?
I actually thought about that comment. Hold on, before we go. I've actually thought about the parallels between New Orleans and San Francisco, right? If you know anything about those two cities and what San Francisco is known for, there's a little bit of that known in New Orleans, right? Mark Jackson said what he said, ends up getting let go, right? Because of what he said. New Orleans is a little different, but almost the same. But they wouldn't, let go of Willie because of Gail's, stance in her assessment of her community. So there's a little bit of parallel between those two. I always find it quite interesting. Like maybe Hollygrove is on or something. Maybe.
The difference is the brother with the sweater vest. He not gonna say anything.
Oh no.
The 3/4 zip up guy. He ain't.
He ain't gonna say
not that there's anything to say. I'm just saying,
Can't read this. We're good. D Freshco. Buddy, the only grown up too. He was grateful to sit next to Daniel Tice because he was grown up too. Wasn't there a man, correct me if I'm wrong, but like earlier on in the year, didn't like the Pelicans do like some like fun, like interactive post, right? Where they were like, tell me who you sit next to, or like something like on a plane or something like that. Yeah. And CJ like almost took like a shot at like the younger guys, like thank God Daniel Tice is here or something like that. He was like, because Daniel Tice is like the only professional like on the team. And I just thought that was like an interesting. I remember I sent that video like really early on in the year, in the group chat. I thought that was kind of interesting. Y'all think CJ likes it here?
I think he hates his coworkers.
He like New Orleans.
Yeah,
I think he
He ain't got no
likes
problems with New Orleans. He ain't got no problems with the city.
Mm-mm.
yeah,
Maybe
And
But
that's
he ain't think it was gonna be like this.
absolutely.
damn.
I think it's the same thing that JJ went through. Like, honestly, I think it's the same thing that JJ went through. Is that you came here, there were promises made, right? That you thought this was going to be serious and that they were going to take these steps. And JJ came here having never missed the playoffs in his life. And then after a year that he was ready to retire. Like, that's the thing. It's like people act like he didn't want to come back because he was ready to retire because that 1 year with the Pelicans was like, he was like, that's enough. I'm ready to go home and call it a career.
Lito, what did he say? What did he say to us again in Vegas?
So he ain't had no problem with the city. He just hate Griff.
Yeah, JJ was.
man. CJ and JJ parallels kind of run hand in hand, don't they?
Man said he just don't like Griff. Come to New Orleans, man, where your playoff dreams could come and die, man. You got CJ missing the playoffs for the first time, JJ Redick missing the playoffs for the first time in their career. You want to,
Stacy, Van Diver, y'all never addressed my Hornets and Pelicans trade, which
I favored it. I favored it later in the. It was like Nick Smith and
There's Nick Richards and
Zion Williamson, Kelly Olynyk for Miles Bridges, Nurkic, Josh Green, and Nick Smith Jr. and pick 4. Zion and Kelly.
I mean, not if I could help it, Stacey.
Like no, because I don't want. I'm not giving up Zion for pick 4. Because
I don't think the Hornets do that deal either. I don't think the Hornets do that deal either.
Yeah.
It don't make sense for them to give up that much, that high. That's a lot for a team that ain't going to the playoffs either very often. So, yeah. And like, is Bridges for them worth the financial? Like, if you got Bridges, he's giving you essentially mini Zion numbers, right? He's giving you 20. He's giving you 7 boards, maybe 2 or 3 assists. He's going to shoot the 3 more often than Zion is. So, like, is the financial obligation that you have to take on to take on Zion and the risk of injury, is that enough for you to give up 2 number 1s and Bridges? And you're not even paying Bridges that much money. Like, that's why it's got to be a 4-player deal. It's like for the Hornets who need to get better, just taking on Zion. I feel like that's a giant risk for them when you've already got LaMelo, who's an injury risk, and then you're trying to get these other dudes on the perimeter going, like Brandon Miller.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like Zion's like it's just down the drain. His value it really doesn't matter. Grubber, media ever allowed at draft workouts? I wonder what they are telling these prospects or identity.
No, we never get to see any of that stuff.
Does it ever get like said to media who they worked out, or does someone have to ask? Like, do they tell y'all like, hey, Pelicans worked out Con Knipple today, or no?
We usually don't get that information. Like, somebody else may get it, but usually, like, you'll see it. It's not even in the TP. Rod Walker don't even get that kind of stuff. They're not going to bring too many people and let them know. Because, again, you're giving up position. You're giving up an idea. They don't want you to know anything.
Yeah. Hour 20 in. We'll go about 10 more minutes. Smash the like button. Leo, you got any more star comments?
Let me see.
Yeah, Jay. Listen to this pod got me depressed. This team is frustrating. Like, yes, it's pretty bad right now. I mean, shit. Like, maybe they make a couple moves. Never know.
It's a long summer.
Yeah, you got pick number 7. Maybe they do top. Like, there's still like avenues to get better. It just sucks right now, though.
There you go, Justin.
I haven't heard Bruce Brown mention yet. Didn't Bruce Brown like a couple of weeks ago like say like, yes, I'd want to come back to Denver or something like that, like on a podcast? Hey, like a couple weeks ago to a month, he said
Like
something
he
along those lines.
basically said Denver out loud. Yeah, like
Yeah, like
that's
he
where he
did.
would.
I don't think Bruce Brown is back next year. Like why? Once again, I don't know why Griff didn't even just get rid of him at the trade deadline. Like once you acquire Bruce Brown in the Ingram deal, why didn't you just flip him to a third team?
I think it's the contract. Like that's to me is all these values as an expiring. I don't even think you can. I don't think there's any reason for anybody to do a sign and trade for Bruce Brown. Like why would somebody want to pay him more money?
No, I'm at the trade
Like,
deadline, bro. But yeah, I mean,
I'm saying, yeah. I mean, but I think they thought his expiring deal was worth it for them at the
oh,
end of this year.
bro,
Was like to get that contract because it was 21 million. I mean, he's getting 21 million.
yeah, that's crazy.
That's a lot of money.
Huh, Lito. Bucks, Pels, Raptors, Giannis and Philadelphia Raptors. Scotty Barnes, Herb, Misi pick back to Bucks. Pels get 9 and Pirtle. Draft Khan and Malwag. So the Pelicans give up. No.
Keep up Herb Meese.
No,
That's like
the Herb's too much.
you're giving up. You're facilitating the Bucks move for them to get all that. No.
Yeah, Herb's way too much. I would. You take Herb out. Do I even have to give up Misi?
That's another first rounder to facilitate their deal.
Yeah. It's too much.
Pirtle getting paid way too much for that in that deal too.
Yeah.
Pirtle's making too much money.
All right, put your best trades in the chat. That's what we'll do. Damn, I didn't label chat. For Lauren, DeJounte Grant Williams, number 7 to Utah, link to Charlotte, John Collins and Sexton.
Ain't mad at it.
21 and 34 to Pels.
Ain't mad at it.
DeJounte, number 7 to Utah. Olynyk to Charlotte. Like, I do not hate that at all. I mean, what is Charlotte? But what is Charlotte getting?
Yeah, all Charlotte's getting is Olynyk out of that.
Yeah, Charlotte's going to have to ask for way more. And Utah's drafting 6th. Is that right? Or 5th? Or are they 4th? Where's Utah drafting?
Utah's 5, right?
5.
Utah 5.
Utah will get 5 and 7. They get DeJounte's contract and Grant Williams. I can only imagine what Grant Williams' contract is. Yeah, Charlotte gets nothing for Lauren. I gotta yeah, that's
Get out Grant. She said to get out Grant contract.
What is his contract? Someone tell me what his contract is.
This guy's nasty. Plus, he's coming off injury too.
No, Carl, no. Herb Joe's like my favorite player. Yeah, he got injured last year, obviously, but he's 28, 29. I think he's got, 2 years left?
Yeah, I don't think anybody's looking to trade Herb. I don't think that's the goal.
But like teams are going to call about Herb Jones. He's a winning basketball player. He's a finishing piece on a championship team. Like Herb Jones is a really good basketball player. It's the fact, like, you're gonna have to make a decision here really soon of what direction are you gonna go? Because right now, the direction's looking like a rebuild. If we're being completely honest, who knows? We gotta wait and see what happens.
Because I say it almost feels like you have to reset the timeline. Like I would say, just looking at the.
Let me get 2 picks in this first top 10.
Because I think the West, the way it is, you're looking at 4 years of probably Oklahoma City winning, right? Like at the very least, if not them winning championships, them being the number 1, number 2 seed every year for the next 4 years. So it feels like going all in, which is what it would take for if you're gonna with Zion, you're talking about going all in next year, like not this season coming up, because you're not ready for that. But if you figure you're staying with Zion, that means you're going all in next year. And I don't know, the Pelicans are built to go all in next year. So I think maybe the best thing is to start a rebuild and start building around these younger players and make trade the centerpiece for the time being.
It's funny we're having this conversation now, Grub. It's like really, and Lito, like, I want to hear your thoughts on this too, but for Joe Dumars, right, to come into his new role year one, and he's thinking he's got. I mean, I'm guessing he knew about the Zion stuff, but he's thinking rebuild. I'm starting to like think rebuild. No one's untouchable. I think that's unfortunate. It's the best way because right now the future's so uncertain. Sucks. But like, there's so many questions, right? We have so many injuries, and your franchise player is, having another bad offseason. It's like, fuck. It's like Trey Murphy's really the only. Trey Murphy's like really the only person left.
All right, let me ask you this: if you're rebuilding, you then have to trade Trey also, right?
Chaz said that. I mean, yeah, like
You kind of do, yeah, because he's
or
not
can
going
you
to
build
stay.
around Trey? Yeah, that's the thing, right? That's the thing, Rob. It's I don't want to trade Trey Murphy. It's Trey Murphy's going to want to get the hell out of town. So, yeah,
Especially like that's the thing is if you're committing, I think that makes you feel like then the hesitancy to get rid of Willie is if they know they're going to strip this thing down to the studs and start all over.
just
And they
let
figure,
him-
okay, we're good with Willie doing that. We're fine with him being the cheap and expensive coach while we strip this thing down and figure out what we're
I'm
going to be
telling
because
you.
we're not going to pay $7 to $10 million for somebody when we ain't winning.
Can't get
It
no
makes
worse.
sense.
Can't get no worse. Willie a coach is out of it.
Or he just coach you through it. Like if you ain't trying to pay and he's still got another year on his contract after this, then you just say we're gonna be bad and we're gonna get rid of everybody and just be bad. Then you figure you can ride that contract out, and then if you get that lottery pick in 2027, if that's where you are, if you're talking about you're gonna be 2026, excuse me, if you're really bad this season and you end up in the top 5 again, then what do you care? If that's what you're trying to do as an organization.
Yeah, just
I wanted to ask this. Like, say you go in a full rebuild, but you get 2 top 10 picks in this year's draft. Would you be excited about next year?
excited as in
Like to watch? Like instead of like what the opposite of what you were this year.
if I get 2 top 10 picks.
That means you're trading. You're trading.
Yeah, I mean
you're trading one of your better players.
Look, I keep saying this. To be bad is one thing. To be bad and boring is a whole nother thing. I'm
gonna be bad and entertaining.
Exactly. I understand being bad. I understand, especially if you trading guys to get younger to salvage salary. I understand that. You can still put an entertaining product on the floor, but I feel like the basketball that we've gone through over the past 4 or 5 years or so, it's been like watching grass grow at certain points. There's no excitement, coming into the season, or you find out 2 days before training camp, Zion is out. like that's when you find out, or you find out media day that Trey's hamstring has been injured, or insert whatever injury bug. I'd be okay with that but I'll tell you this, because then I would understand there's a direction, right? There's a direction.
That's my thing. There's a direction. I don't want to tank. I don't think anyone enjoys a tank. I'm not saying we're tanking because here's my other thing. Here's my other point, Grove. I want to talk to you about this. The whole tanking thing, I feel like is done. If you're in top 5, 6, you got a chance, right? Like Utah was historically bad this year and they tanked on purpose and they got the 5th pick. Pelicans slotted at 3, get 7. I don't see the point of tanking anymore, but I would be excited to see maybe they make a splash in the NBA draft. Maybe they get 2 top 10 picks, and maybe they get some exciting new rookies that want to make a name for themselves, right? They're like, hey, this is my team. We got 2 new rookies coming in, kind of like the Jackson Hayes, Zion Williamson. Remember how exciting that was? Obviously, Zion was a big part of that, but shit, man, I'd be really excited about Dylan Harper if you somehow traded up and got 2. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you got to have some level of optimism, right? It's just that something that human beings can make something happen, and we've seen strange things happen in the NBA before. I mean, it's just what do you like? I think the biggest things, like you said, until they have an identity, until they play their way, whatever that way is, it's hard to be entertained because you're always going to be chasing that dragon. You know, the one night of a month that they play really, really well, and you think this is how they're going to play, and then they don't do that again for another month. Like they never do those things ever again. They don't run the same. They don't play defense the same. They don't shoot the same. Like that's the part that I think that's the most frustrating is like you've seen the good. You've seen the Pelicans be really good, but they never sustain that. Whether it's a winning streak, whether it's an entire season, whether it's a playoff series, you never get the best for long enough. Even the team, the team with AD, when they went on that long winning streak to end the season, and then all of a sudden that stuff goes away so fast. It feels like it's so fleeting. Nothing is ever lasting.
Hey, Justin,
Yeah.
you want to answer this question?
How do you ever build a winner if you keep getting rid of good pieces? How about trying this? It's like, what do you want Herb to do? Like, you want to hold on to Herb Jones right now, and but sure. I mean, I like him. If I can get value for him right now, even though he's literally my favorite player to watch, I have to do it. It's just like literally like you got to be at a point now where you got to like realize where you are. Zion Williamson is not dependable. The latest news obviously is terrible. Like it's all out. Obviously, a lot more needs to be done in that situation, but still, like you just can't trust him. Even before this, like 6 years, no playoff appearances, you have a big question mark there. You just traded Brandon Ingram. You've gutted like the entire roster. You're, I guess, face for your franchise now is Trey Murphy. Would you say? Would y'all say that Trey Murphy's now the face of the franchise? Yep. How long do you think Trey Murphy's going to want to stick around and be part of, this type of like losing situation? He wants to go win. He's a really good player too. A lot of teams, obviously, have you seen in the last couple of days, like a lot of fan bases know Trey Murphy. They really like him. So once again, like you got to listen. I mean, Grub is how we started off the show, right? Like you're going to listen to everybody on the Pelicans roster. And if there's a deal that gets you better today, and then obviously like in the future though, and you can start building a foundation and getting a direction for this franchise and this team, then I think you really got to look at that. And look, and like your opinion, this is your opinion. Like I don't think there are any wrong answers here. Like you want to be a fan, you want to cheer for good players. Like I get it. I'm looking at the future. This is not a championship roster. It's not a championship coach. I got to see what Joe Dumars can do in year 1 and year 2 and see if he can give me a direction. If he gives me a direction, yeah, I'll be hopeful. Right now, I'm not.
I think the most important part of this sentence from my dog, shout out to my dog, is another superstar. Because because it make it seem like like they just go on trees. You can go and pick one. You can just a guy will walk into your franchise and he will be the one that leads you to the finals, whatever Eastern Conference or semifinals, and like it just hasn't gone like that because in Zion's case, you got a guy who was dubbed a superstar who hasn't lived up to being a superstar, and it's hard. The drafting is hard. Like drafting is hard to say like to just go find another one. It's like when like Jay was beefing with Dame Dash and he was like, okay, make another hole. Like you simply just can't do that. You gotta you are where you are. You are where you are as far as the market. You are who you are as far as the organization. So you already have that against you. So that's tough, man. It's tough.
I mean, but let's be real. It's like there are not that many players that you would call legitimate superstars that are franchise altering players anymore. You need to construct things around them, and people. It's not market size because look, it's about just smart drafting and it's smart talent acquisition. The Celtics drafted their guys. Jaylen Brown was a reach when he was taken at the spot that he was taken for the Celtics. Nobody thought that he was going to go as high as he did, but they drafted well. We've talked about this with the Thunder. Like SGA was the one thing that they held their ground on in that Paul George trade. It was like, we have to have him. We're not giving you Paul George unless we get him. They identified him as that piece. And then they've drafted without very few top 5 picks. You know, Chet's the only top 5 pick in that group. They've picked the right players when they had the opportunity. Portland has done a pretty good job outside of Scoot, maybe not being on the trajectory that they hoped for, but the rest of those guys, Shaden Sharp's played well. Donovan Clingan looks good. Like, you're seeing the teams that do well. And if you don't pick well, you're going to be bad. And then you're not that player that you think is out there. Everybody's just trading for high-level role players. That's all that's really happening, is that you're trading for your second or your third guy. You can't trade for your first guy. There are only 5 of those out there. And Giannis, his list is limited. Luka's list is limited. Jokic's list is limited. There are very few teams. SGA is limited. So if you can't get one of those guys, you're just trading for high-level role players. That's all everybody else is. High-level role players, whether they're going to be a 2 or a 3 or a strong, the number 1B. But there's not a lot of 1As out there. So I think, to say that you got to hold on to anybody, you're trying to find the best that plays the way you want to play. Tyrese Halliburton, nobody would have called him a superstar. Jalen Brunson, he's probably still too small to be a superstar. He has limitations. But he's the identity of that team. And every night, they're going to play the way Jalen Brunson plays. The Pacers are going to play the way Tyrese Halliburton plays. And you don't have that guy with the Pelicans. That guy's not there, whether they haven't been given that opportunity or they haven't taken it. That guy isn't with the Pelicans. So I think you got to look for that no matter what. Who's going to shape your franchise and push them to where they want to go?
Damn.
Yes.
Well said. Trip Flair. Are we still paying Van Gundy? Can we get Stan back? I don't think we are. And that's another thing. They don't want to pay. They don't want to fire Willie Green. Pay another contract out. But damn. Hour 40. Appreciate everybody. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Once again, if you're a member, I haven't given you a t-shirt package, let me know. Get one out to you. And a lot of great content over the next week and a half, 2 weeks. And then we have the draft when? End of the month, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, end of the month. So we'll be live for that. It'll be fun. Once again, appreciate all the chat, all the super chats, everything like that. Smash the like button. We'll see y'all. We'll be live Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Lido, Chris, and 5 and Ivory have the film breakdown. So a lot of good stuff here on the channel. So appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all later.